Okay, we got to continue our Ohio and Texas challenge. But just a second here, I noticed that I need to make a little repair on my glove. I don't know if you guys remember, some of you guys do. Back in the day, I used to wear tape on my fingers because I got tired of taping up my gloves or buying new gloves and that sort of thing. I found it easier just to tape up my fingers, and it was easier and cheaper. The problem is I don't like removing the tape at the end of the day. I'd rather just remove the glove. Much easier. Sometimes these little flakes get underneath the tape like that, and I bend my finger or something, and there it goes. Anyway, I should rewrap this index finger, but still looks okay. Still good. Let's see. We got some maintenance issues here. Should have done this beforehand, but I'm not gonna, because this is good content. Oh yeah. You know? I was looking at stuff that has millions of views on YouTube. Oh yeah. Talking about good content. Raise your hand if you think the videos that get millions of views have really good content. Yeah, some of you that raise their hands, those are the ones that should be sharing with us what channels are you watching. If you get good content that gets into the millions of views and you're watching it, share it with us in the comment section. Or maybe not even in the comments section. I don't care. Just share it. What are you watching? Maybe it'll eventually get around to me, so I'll be able to see really good stuff that actually is worth watching, instead of trying to figure out, well, let's see, how do I get more views? Maybe I should jump up and down more. Yeah. Leaping Jack Flash. Change the channel name. Do some weird stuff like that. You guys already know my sense of humor. You probably know at this point I'm not above doing these strange attention-getting things. Yeah. But no, I got tired of that, and what did I do instead today? I went into my storage unit and I looked around for some more interesting challenges. I got a lot of stuff I still got to do. I got a lot of boxes that I got in the mail from very generous people that I'm not even close to getting into. And that's not counting all the obsidian stuff. Oh yeah. I got a bunch of boxes, and there's some still in Texas that I've got to do challenges. So I'm kind of full right now on challenges. I'll let you know when I could use a lot more. And I'm just about ready to go to Texas. I'm going to pick up some stone, and I bet you someone's going to give me a piece to challenge me with. Yeah, I don't know if I can do anything with this stuff. Well, maybe not this particular piece. Yeah, Ohio wins on this one. Yeah, that was just way too crumbly. This one might not be too much different. All right, here we go. Maybe that's a good sign. Anyway, I did look at some stuff I need to be doing. It's getting toward crunch time. At the end of the week, I start looking at what I need to be doing. At the beginning of the week, I do other stuff. I try to figure out what else I can do. It's not too bad. What else can I do? What else can I do? I could do the woodworking, yeah. I already got that set up. I just need to do it. After my side projects. What else could I do? I mean, what else can I do quickly? There's really nothing I can do quickly that's interesting to me. Might be interesting to you to see me just shoot bows and arrows. Just shoot in the backyard, set up a target and just shoot. It might be interesting, but not for me. Although I do shoot the bow and arrow and add ladle darts every once in a while. It's been a long time since I've done that, because it's not really that interesting unless I'm shooting at something that I can eat. Yeah. I'd like to be shooting at some fish. I did see some fish the other day. I think I told you already. If I didn't, I saw a bunch of smallmouth bass. Yeah. And they will hang out in the warmer water, and you can see them. But those suckers are smart. They don't hang around. They see any movement, they go to deeper water right away. They watch the shoreline like a hawk, so to speak. Now the little bitty ones, they think you're going fishing and they're going to steal your bait, so they come right up to where you're standing next to the bank. Or yeah, they come right up next to the bank. Those little bitty ones, the little baby smallmouth bass, because they want handouts. So come on, drop some bait in here, by accident or on purpose. Come on, here we are. Expert bait stealers from hooks and whatnot. Yeah. Anyway, I don't think I'm going to do that this time. I got a lot of traveling to do. Unfortunately, you always seem free and clear at the beginning of the year. Everything's free and clear. Then it starts to tick by, tick, 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 and you got a lot of stuff you got to do. And it takes more time than you thought it would take to do the stuff you got to do. See, in 15 minutes I'm going to cut this and go to the other piece over there. Remind me. I can't remind you, dude, because you're filming by yourself. Well, yeah, but that's debatable because you never know who's watching or listening. Yeah, I'm by myself, but I'm not by myself, if you know what I mean. What is that? My tripod's making noises. Or I should say, I have a little helper. I started to say that I had a little helper holding my camera. It's supposed to be a joke. I don't have no helpers at all. Yeah. No help at all. What am I gonna do here? This is not looking very good. With this kind of turtleback on a good material, it doesn't bother me. But on this kind of material, yeah, I don't know. This is This is not good. Like most challenge rocks, I think everyone knows the rules, right? You gotta knap hundreds of pounds of it to be good at it. Not just take 10 pounds and start wailing on it, hoping for the best. If I had hundreds of pounds in hundreds of hours, yeah. Let's see. Which, I need a stick of dynamite. Who's got some explosives? Shouldn't be talking about that, huh? Who's got a jackhammer? I can't get this flake to release. Nah. I'm hitting it like that. And it's not going anywhere. Platform's not perfect. I know I've hit turtlebacks before. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to scoop it out a lot. It usually requires a big old hit. Yeah. I don't know. Let's see. Is 15 minutes up yet? No, still got 4 minutes. I am going to try to complete something out of this. If I can get it thin, that's the whole thing. You can make anything out of something thin. Anything. I can start with a thin piece. That's why I saved this for last, because it's the easiest. I can just shape the outside, and that's a triangle point of some sort. I can put a little stem on it maybe, but this one is thick, and I gotta try to thin it down. Yeah, I don't know. I could just say this is as far as I can get. You guys that are not having any luck with it, it's not because of you. It's because it's bad material. Next. I could do that, but I'm going to try a little bit harder. A little bit harder to thin this down. Am I bumping the camera? Because I never feel like I'm in the right position. All right, let's see. Metal on metal. That's the last resort. This aluminum hitting the steel flaker. Now, to be even more hardcore than this, I would have a steel billet hitting the steel flaker. Aluminum absorbs a little bit of the shock. Just a little bit, which is good. You don't want too much shock. You just want the follow through. You do want the follow through to maintain contact with the platform. So a little bit of shock absorption helps to keep these things in contact with each other. Absorbs a little bit of shock. That means there's a little bit of buffer there where they're in contact that whole time. Whereas if it was very, very hard on both of these, very hard here, very hard there, it tends to bounce. It doesn't remain in contact during that shock absorption phase. It bounces. And when you bounce, it loses the energy as far as the momentum, as far as the follow through. It doesn't lose the initial energy for breaking the tensile strength. But once that tensile strength is broken, you need a follow through. Or a flake's not going to travel. Or the crack or the fracture is not going to propagate very far. It will propagate, but it only goes so far. It needs energy to continue propagating. So you need that follow through. All right. I'm trying to follow through on these strikes to give me some longer flakes, but I'm sacrificing the edge because I'm having to hit bigger and bigger platforms. As I try harder and harder, I've got to increase the size and strength of these platforms, which causes these scoop outs and bites. And there's two ways to increase the size of a platform. You can either go up higher to hit it up higher, essentially creates a larger platform indirectly, right? Not directly. Or you can shape it to be bigger by exposing more of it. So you can either hit higher up, which essentially means that you're hitting more surface area, or you can create more surface area by exposing and removing material from the sides of the periphery of the platform. Anyway, why did I hit it with plastic? Because I forgot what I was doing. Yeah, the metal on metal seems to be working okay. But I don't know if I'll be able to get anything thin. And I'm already past the 15-minute mark. You guys didn't remind me. Oh, there's somebody out back going, I did. I was shouting at you. You didn't hear me. Yeah. Sorry about that. I'm going to spend a little more time on this, see if I can actually make a dent, so to speak. Alright, let's see. No, this is not going to do it. What's happening is it's just crumbling. The material is not strong enough really to sustain platforms that I need to drive flakes. On difficult material, you need a lot of power to drive flakes, and the platforms have to be able to withstand the force. And if they can't, you're out of luck. Nothing you can do about it other than grinding it down with grinding techniques. Peck and grind. That's what they used to do back in the day. Or you take your rotary tool or stone saw or tile saw and carve it out. Oh yes, you can carve it out. Don't need to nap it. How often did they used to carve out arrowheads back in the day? Well, in the areas where you could find slate, it was done quite often. In Europe and in the Americas. As an example. So yeah, you can do it that way. And I was looking at a video that's got over 1 million views, 1.1 million views, how to make a slate arrowhead. Yep. Yeah, you can teach someone how to make a slate arrowhead in about 30 minutes. I've been working on how to make arrowheads out of various nasty stones for years, and there's no way one of my videos is going to hit 1 million. Unless maybe I make a video on how to make a slate arrowhead. Yeah, but the internet says, I've been there, done that. There's not going to be nobody watching. We'll see. Yeah, look it up, man. Look up the slate arrowhead. How to make a slate arrowhead. Or something like that. And here I am trying to show you how to make a arrowhead from waste stone. Stone that's just usually thrown in the waste. I might go the full 30 minutes on this just so I can satisfy my curiosity. I might. I probably will not. See, I'm getting close. Right? I mean, this might be able to be hafted as a knife or something. That edge is kind of sharp, but it's minimal as far as usefulness. I'll leave it at that. I might be able to run a flake across, take down this side here a little bit more, and I can probably drive a flake into that area. But it's not going to get much thinner than that. Can it be mounted to an lateral dart? Yeah, it can be sharpened a little bit better also. Alright, so let's go to this one. I am going to get back to that one. I'm going to get back to that. One more video in this series probably. Alright. On this one, all I need to do right now is pressure flake it before I do the next pass. The next pass will probably just be to take out lumps or maybe a couple step fractures. Yeah. So I get to talk about stuff while I try to pressure flake this. We're using the cheater flaker with copper. Yep. And it's not the long version either. It's the Napper's cramp version, because I don't pinch myself with it like I do the Ishi sticks. Trade off again. And this is easier for me to maneuver so everyone can see. Can you see? Good. It's because it's easier for me to maneuver with the short handle, although it's more difficult on the wrist. Yeah, that tip is all wonky, as usual. I like working on the tips first, even though it's not that great of an idea, because I can accidentally hit the tip and break it off if it's too delicate. And this is raw stone, so it'll be easy to break the tip off if I'm being really aggressive on the other parts of this point. But I'll say, yeah, it's okay. I meant to do that. Yeah. I mean, I was planning on it. Planning on that particular accident potentially happening. I planned for the potential. Yeah. No. No, I don't plan for the potentials. I don't think. Let me think about that one. Can you actually plan on having or can the potentials be part of your plan? I suppose they can be. No way of knowing, because you can just say, yeah, that was part of the plan. I was expecting the unexpected. I was aware of the potentialities and I had taken them all into consideration. Yeah. Sure, dude. Sure. Yeah, and the experimental archaeologists are going, wait a second, I never discussed potentials in the mindset of the Flintknapper. Unintentional mishaps being planned for, contingencies and all that. I never think about that kind of stuff when I'm doing experimental archaeology. It's too complicated. What if all the points that one particular napper makes are all mistakes and not what he wanted? Does it even matter to the experimental archaeologist that every point that they discover really isn't measuring up to what the napper wanted? He wanted something else, but he just kept it that way just for expediency. Yeah, they're not exactly what I was thinking of, because the notches are not deep enough, or the thickness is too thick, or the weight is not heavy enough. I wish they were heavier, but I just went with it. It's not really what I want. Is that taken into consideration during some of these experiments? Or is there a way to take those into consideration? Those circumstances? How often does it happen that a napper is producing points that are not what he wants to produce, but he makes them anyway and uses them anyway? How often does that happen? What's the percentage on that? And are some cultures more prone to that than others? Do some cultures actually destroy points because they're not up to speed? Excuse me. Which is the opposite of keeping it, even though you don't think it's right, even though you don't think it's a good representation of what you wanted. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that, but those are things that could be part of the original mindset. Same with moving into a new territory. Yeah, a bunch of bison hunters moved into a new territory and they're wanting to hunt bison, but they see a bunch of other stuff around, like bighorn sheep or something. So they hunt a lot of bighorn sheep. But what they really want is to hunt bison, but they ended up hunting bighorn sheep. They don't really like to, but they got a bunch of them around. I'd rather have the bison furs and the bison meat and bison bones and all that. But yeah, they'll settle for the bighorn sheep. But they're just making do until they can get bison. And then, archaeologists come around and say, yep, this is a bighorn sheep culture, specifically designed to hunt bighorn sheep because that's what they want to do. Yep. When you don't know that they might be bison hunters and they're just stuck. Stuck because something wiped out the herd, or it left because of the over presence of predators, or just the environment was not wet enough to support enough grass to grow, so they moved on. So instead of following the herds, some of the tribes say, well, they'll eventually come back. Let's just stay here for now. Anyway, you never know. So what am I going to make with this one? I'm running out of time. I'm going to get this to the stage where it's just a good preform. See, I lost the corner off of this side, so I had to even it up. But now that I've got it evened up, what am I going to make? Yeah, I like those. I like those lump removing flakes, but I don't like dropping it. Let's see, can I remove anything else that's blaring? A blaring error? Where is the blaring error? Where is it? I don't see it. It's right there, dude. Where? I'll turn it over. It's right there. Where? I don't see. It's right there. I could message you guys like that all day. Let's try it. In the 1 minute I have left, I got two avenues. I can come in from this area. I can come in from this area. This is a little bit safer than this, but I'm going to probably have to do both. One is probably not going to work. I don't know, let's try this one. Did it do it? I think it did it. It's too easy. Yeah, I ground that down for nothing. Okay, so that's it for this particular segment. Are they both going to be stemmed points? Oh yeah. You can see the difference between what can be done with nice material and what can be done with not so nice material. There's a debate whether or not the thicker one is more useful than the thinner one, right? This one will stand up to a lot more abuse, especially if you throw it. You can probably stick this into a tree, whereas if you stick this in a tree, probably snap the tip right off. It'll stick in the tree, and then the weight from the little dart will start pulling it down and snap it. Yeah. But yeah, removals on this were so nice. Removals on this, not so nice. Flake removals. Alright, so anyway. There you go.